1996, a little Japanese company called Game Freak released a now famous video game series, changing the face of handheld gaming forever. It was brought to the United States and Europe in 1998, quickly gathering a huge fan base that continues to this day. Amongst its long list of achievements as a franchise are 5 generations of handheld games, a well-known playing card game, a hugely successful animated show, and no less than 15 different movies, 14 of which have been translated into English. I am of course talking about the 90s phenomenon that was Pokemon, and to this day, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone of my generation who wasn't at least passingly familiar with the franchise. From its humble beginnings at a little Japanese company known as Nintendo, all the way to today, it's been 16 years since Pokemon first exploded into the video game market, and it's still a huge part of Nintendo's video game library today. It's very hard to explain to anyone who didn't grow up in the 90s and early 2000s just how humongous Pokemon really was during the time. There wasn't a single kid who didn't have a favorite Pokemon. Pokemon card collecting was more popular than any other hobby at the time, and literally every single school, even those in the same school district, had its own Pokemon game rumor. Some whispered that you could find Mew under an innocent-looking truck on an island that you couldn't even get to without cheating. Others claimed you could find rare Pokemon and items behind Bill's house, or that there was a secret Pokemon known as Pika-Blue that you could find by following a very specific sequence of steps. Even some legitimate real glitches, such as the Mew glitch in Missing Mo, were thought to be rumors, and since the internet was so new back then, there was no real way to check if any of the stories were actually true. So many of us grew up believing these stories. I am convinced that memories of these myths and urban legends, along with memories of the purposefully eerie parts of the game, such as Lavender Town, are what later gave rise to the Pokemon Creepypasta. Creepypastas are essentially scary stories, usually pertaining to some horrific or unnerving subject, and are intended to be copied and then pasted somewhere else to scare or shock unsuspecting readers. Some well-known creepypastas include Jeff the Killer, Candle Cove, and Smile Dog, although others pertain to horrifying TV show lost episodes that should have stayed lost, hidden game data that should have stayed hidden, and even heavy themes like the horror of man's cruelty to his fellow man. In this way, creepypastas function much like the internet version of an urban legend, and as a result, many of them are so widespread and lack so little explanation that many people actually believe they're 100% real. Like so many popular internet memes, creepypasta came from the tradition of the copypasta, a copy-paste meme invented on 4chan's message boards. With creepypasta becoming such a popular prank to play on other internet users, it was inevitable that someone would eventually create one of the first Pokemon creepypastas, entitled Pokemon Black. This creepypasta, first posted to 4chan's x/ and v/ message boards, soon inspired other posters to create more Pokemon creepypastas, ranging from the infamous Lavender Town Tone Theory to Pokemon Lost Silver and beyond. Faster than you could say Pikachu, a trend was born. Why are creepypastas so popular? I think it's because most people, whether they like to admit it or not, love to scare themselves, and we've pretty much enjoyed doing so since before language was cool. Part of it's the rush we get afterwards. You see, our bodies make a mix of endorphins and adrenaline whenever it thinks we're in danger, sort of like a natural turbo mode. This chemical cocktail is so powerful that people have actually torn off car doors to save others while under its influence. So basically, yes, it does turn you into Superman without the severe kryptonite allergy, of course. It's the endorphins responsible for that euphoric rush associated with an adrenaline rush. And that's why so many people love scary stories. As for why so many believe the stories are true, well, that's because the human brain absolutely sucks at statistics. Sure, we know that a video game can't really hurt us unless we do something stupid like microwave the console, but a tone in a children's game that causes headaches and suicide, or a hack made to inspire feelings of dread in the player? Now we're not so sure, because to our brains, it sounds like it could be a plausible threat. Video game creepypastas use this to their advantage all the time, because it makes us question our own memories of something we think of as harmless fun. Just like an evil clown character intentionally turns the image of a fun-loving circus clown into something malicious, the idea that someone could tamper with a beloved childhood game without our knowledge in order to turn it into something malicious scares us far more than many of us would care to admit. For this LP, I chose 3 very popular, very well-known creepypastas from the Pokemon universe: Pokemon Cursed Black, Pokemon Lost Silver, and Lavender Town Syndrome. Each game chosen is based on these 3 legends, and each legend will be discussed throughout the course of the month of October. Each week, you'll see an actual gameplay video first, followed by a discussion or reading of the legend each game is based on. Think of the legends as bonus videos, but instead of putting them all at the end and crowding out the really cool, scary bonus LP I have for you, I'm scattering them throughout the LP videos instead. I've always been fascinated with both urban legends and creepypastas in general, and Pokemon has always been a game series I've wanted to LP and discuss. I hope you'll enjoy watching this LP as much as I enjoyed making it. The 4 games I chose this year were lots of fun to play, and a couple of them scared me far worse than some of my favorite console games have. If you're curious, I encourage you to try them out for yourself. I'll have download links for the games in the description of each LP video. Now turn off the lights, gather around the computer screen, and prepare yourself. Halloween is quickly approaching, dear viewers, and I'm taking you with me on a one-way trip to the darker side of the Pokemon universe.